In my process of like learning how to do energy work, I was very lucky that I had amazing teachers who instilled in me a sense of responsibility, but also a sense of empowerment, that energy was for my highest good if I learned how to use it in a way that aligned with only me, not everyone else. And that deeply changed my practice because I stopped using energy with other people for a while, and I only focused on using it for myself. And that is where I started learning how to read all of my signals. So as I'm sitting here, I can feel energy trying to come in. It's basically like a pressure at the crown of the top of my head, and it's pushing down. And from here, I typically need to decipher if this energy just wants to come in because energy wants attention, and what better forum than TikTok? But it's not always energy that's meant for me. So I would now have to take the next step to say, like, is this energy aligned with my highest good? Is this energy that is meant for me to understand, comprehend, internalize? Or is this just energy that wants my attention? Once I started making that separation, I then learned how to intuit in a different way, in almost like a medium way, versus energy that was meant for me. Now, this transition was highly unnerving. That's the best way that I can describe it. I did not plan on being what I term mildly psychic or being a medium. And to be perfectly frank, these are not gifts that I have actively tried to hone. These are gifts that have kind of just like pushed through, and I have been equally as surprised as everybody else that I can do this type of stuff. When I say mild psychicness or mild mediumness, it's basically this immense pressure at the crown of my head that if I am talking to someone, and if I have gotten their consent, and if I have deliberately aligned my energy with theirs after consent, what basically happens is that I will have members of their family kind of come forward. Now, to be perfectly clear, this does not always happen. This does not always happen. I am not a guaranteed medium. I am not like Teresa the medium where I can do this with everyone and their mother. I have had times in my life where I've been super open, and it's been incredibly overwhelming. It's also been really physically taxing, so I pulled back from doing it all the time. Now I only do it if it's a message that is like needs to come through. And for me, I internalize that to be that whoever is up there for you, if they are coming through to me, that means that they desperately need to come through with something that you either want to hear or need to hear. But even if they want to come through, if you say no, if you're like, I don't want to know what's out there for me, I'm not going to tell you, because energy has its own agenda, and that agenda does not always align with the agenda of us here on this earth. And energy doesn't control us. All right. This is another principle of energy work that I practice. Energy does not control me. I control the energy. So even if something or someone is coming through, I don't need to tell everyone and everyone about it, because sometimes we are not open to it, and that is okay. That is respecting the boundary of someone not being open to receiving this type of information because they don't want it. And I don't need to know why they don't want it. It's simply a state of like, nope, better off not knowing, and that's okay. But when I separated out my energy from like psychic work, I guess, that's where I started seeing very different signals for how this energy shows up for me. So I have a whole set of signals that are my sixth sense. They are my intuition that says like, hey, you need to be paying attention to this. For instance, I have a lot of signals having to do with animals. So yesterday I had a dragonfly land on my toe. I saw a bald eagle. I literally had like a cardinal land on a table right next to me. I take those to be signs of messengers that are delivering news. I then have a whole different host of signals for when I do energy work with other people or intuitive work with other people. And for me, it's kind of this like full body buzz. I get the pressure at the crown of my head. Sometimes my ears ring, or I feel like I'm underwater, and I can feel something or someone around me. Energy in this form can be really persistent, and it took me a really long time to learn how to say no or to turn off this side of the work because it was taking everything out of me, or simply because I didn't want to be visited all the time. Go to part 4 because I'm going to tell you